record. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with Jenn Taylor, and I just wanted to bring her on. She is a transformational coach for Christian women, is one of the many things she does. And so I just wanted to bring her on and introduce her to you guys. I would love to just, if you just want to tell us a little bit more about what you do, Jenn.
Yes. So I feel like often entrepreneurs, we birth their business out of our own struggle. And so we are our own avatar. I am my own ideal client, but back when I was struggling. And I was that mom that woke up and thought, okay, I chose my life. I'm checking the boxes. I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to. And yet I feel really lost. I feel alone a lot of the time. I feel like, yeah, I chose my life, but like, is this all there is? Seriously, is this all there is? You got to be kidding me. And I just felt like there was more. I think I lacked some purpose and direction. And at certain times, some self-confidence or the courage to do what I wanted. I knew that I wanted to tackle areas in my life that were causing stress and overwhelm. There were feelings of judgment that I was working through. And I wanted to build stronger connections to other women, to my faith. So it was a crisis. I was having a crisis of something, a crisis in faith, a crisis in purpose, a crisis in my passion and my drive, in my courage, in how I was showing up and stepping forward. That was how I felt. I felt lost and I felt alone. And there were lots of different reasons. So I did a lot of work. I was not comfortable being in that space, and it was really negative. And I needed to not be there. I hit a point that was like my bottom, and it was really interesting. I was working for a company. There were 7 women. We did a Secret Santa. No big deal, right? You get a paper, you fill it out. And it took me 3 days to fill it out. I had become, through divorce and leaving a cult and moving to a different place in the US and going back to career after 10 years of being a stay-at-home mom, I was having a crisis in a lot of ways. And I realized that I was on such autopilot and feeling so stressed. I couldn't even write, like, what's your favorite candy bar? What's your favorite smell of a candle? I wasn't doing things for myself. Self-care was not in my vernacular. And I was just getting through the day and getting through parts of the day. And I was maxed out in every area of my life. And when I got that Secret Santa, I still have it. It's folded in the back of my journal. On a side note, it fell out once and my husband picked it up and he asked if I had been speed dating. And I've never been speed dating. I think it would be a blast, but I have never been speed dating. I'm like, speed dating? Why? And he goes, yeah, this looks like a paper for speed dating, which made me realize 2 things. He knows what speed dating is. And so I'm like, have you been speed dating? And also, your Secret Santa list can double as that if you ever need it to. So, like, fun fact there. But I kept that as a reminder that I never wanted to be back in that space. And that was 17 years ago. And after I filled it out, I thought, okay, I'm a list maker and I've got to break things down. So what are the areas in my life that I am working in? Work, kids, menu planning, dinners, finances, dating, personal life, church. Like, there's all of these parts of our lives. And so I wrote a list of all the parts of my lives, the different things that I did, areas that I could say no to, and what areas were causing stress, and then ordering them in the level of stress. So the highest stress top. And what personal traumas had I gone to? What crises had I gone through, where I needed to get work on myself, some sort of therapy on myself. And I started doing that. That's where I started. And I loved that journey so much. And I had a lot of training already in this area, but I got what I felt gave me the best training to facilitate this in others. And so I launched coaching 4.5 years ago. And The best thing is that when you can make a super significant difference in someone else's life in a very short time, that's the goal. So I want to make it faster, easier, and more supported for other women that are feeling lost, stressed, overwhelmed, alone, and are having a crisis of some parts of their life.
Yeah, I love your story. Thank you for sharing. I feel like so many women resonate with that so deeply. I know I've gone through certain points of my own life too, where it's just kind of, you feel like you don't have a purpose or a direction. And so just being able to have someone like you that can come alongside and really walk with people, with women, is amazing. So I definitely love what you do, for sure.
And you have that same goal. I mean, all of us that are doing this, you want to make it faster, easier, and more supported for other people in your zone of genius. And our zones of genius are different. So we're all resources for each other. And I think thinking about it like that is super important, right? We're all resources for each other.
Yes, definitely. We can all support one another, and yeah, we're not meant to do life alone.
No, like Jesus had 12 disciples. So I'm figuring we need at least like a small group of champions to each other's cause. So
yes, definitely. And so, yeah, I know, I also know you are big on minimalism also, which is also something that I strive for also. Just feel like in our culture and all that, minimalism is definitely so important. Just cutting away all the extra things that we don't need. So I'd love to just hear a little bit more about minimalism on yours. I know you have some exciting things coming up.
yeah.
So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that.
It started 6.5 years ago when my husband Dane came home, or we were home, and he's like, I'm so overwhelmed by the house. I don't even know how to help clean it anymore. And every day we would drive home and it was like a tornado. And it was kind of putting things back. We had 12 kids at home out of that time. Out of 18 kids, we've never had more than 12, but we've had 11 or 12 for many years. We had 11 or 12 kids at home. So 12 backpacks, 12 pairs of shoes, even if they only have one backpack, it was just a lot. It was a lot of stuff. We're a blended family. And so, it was his stuff and my that I was keeping for the kids when they moved out, or you just accumulate stuff and don't realize it. And we both kind of hit the wall of overwhelm. And I don't know anything about minimalism, but I searched how to reduce stress through organization. And that was a Google rabbit hole that I became a Google master at searching. And I didn't even realize it was minimalism in the beginning. It absolutely was, but I wasn't reading it that way. I just started going through every room and every closet. I started with the toughest, which was my closet, my personal closet, clothes and shoes. And the easiest, I love that your son's playing. And the easiest, which was like the living room and closets and bathrooms, right? And the goal was, I didn't know about Marie Kondo at that point, like none of that stuff. The goal was just to get rid of anything that you didn't use or love. Mm-hmm. And so obviously a picture is not something that you use, but it's something that you love to have, that means something. And we got rid of 80% of what we owned over a 3-month period of time. Then we found out they were selling the house. We had to move. And I was so grateful that we had done that 3 months of work before that. And we had that next month to really light a fire. And we kind of have never looked back since then. We rented a smaller house after that. And we've decided to rent because we had such a huge family. The house we wanted to buy 5 years ago isn't the house we want to buy now. Mm-hmm. So we rented intentionally, and we just kept renting smaller places and getting rid of more. So I'm at 1,000 square feet now.
Yeah.
And I'm a super organized person. So I would go through my closets I would go through everything at least once a year, usually twice. But when you lean into minimalism, you do it like we just did the kitchen yesterday. And I have no sentiment attached after 6.5 years. Like I do not feel anything for almost any item that I own. But when my 11-year-old daughter and I went into her room yesterday, some stuff is like instantly, yes, I want to keep, or instantly, no, I want to get rid of. But there's all that gray area, which is like a lot of what you own.
Yeah.
And so I call it Marie Kondoing. I will have her hold it. Okay, hold it. Because the moment you put something in your hands and hold it, your body will react instantly, whether you want it or not. If it reacts that you do not need it anymore and you want to let it go, the only reason you're keeping it anyway is because, well, yeah, but my brother gave that to me, or that came from my sister, or a friend got that when she went to England. And that is not the reason to keep anything, but your body will physically react in a way that's yes or no the second you put something in your hands. So anything that we're ever uncertain of, I'm like, pick it up, like hold it. And yeah, we bought an RV in January of 2021. It had so much water damage. It was almost, we questioned whether it was worth saving, but we'd spent money to buy it. So we were kind of stuck. So we had a company renovate it. It was just done last weekend as we're recording this. And my husband and I have both been sick. So we just need to get the RV. It's 8 hours away. So we need to either have somebody drive it. If anyone's in Apple Valley, California, and wants to drive to Reno, that would be awesome. We just need to get it here basically. And our plan is to live in it. Having said that, going from 1,000 square feet to 260 is a massive jump.
Mm-hmm.
And we do know that we may get it and think we're going to sell it because now it's worth enough that it's a down payment on a house. Or we may move into it, or we may hybrid moving into it, because that is that's a big and quite scary jump, but it's kind of like the culmination of 6.5 years of minimalism into living full time in an RV. So that's that crazy story.
Yeah, that's super exciting though. That's definitely one thing I'd love to do is just eventually selling my house and just being able to travel around the United States with my family in an RV. So it's definitely something I'd love to do one day. Definitely all about minimalism and just living really in your means and what you actually need.
And no, it's so much less. I mean, the stress reduction is why we started. It wasn't a smaller footprint or to save money, although it does those things. And those start to become passions, even though it was absolutely, we were so overwhelmed by all the stuff we owned and it was running our lives and we didn't want to be stressed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so we started on that journey. So you don't have to live with a backpack or an RV. You can keep the home that you own. It's not about the size of your home. It's about the intention and how you feel in every room.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I definitely have noticed that when I've downsized, just being able to relieve that stress. Just like walking in a room and things have its place and there's not a ton of extra toys or extra things laying around. It's just like, hey, I can breathe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I thank you for taking the time to meet with me, and I will include your link so someone can connect with you through a strategy call or your website. And just thank you again for your time today.
Thanks, Jyssica.
Yeah. All right.